versus VonIvan. That's but what the
mechanized? No W571.
I guess by doing that, he's eliminated demo charges from the USF faction. Maybe that's it. But let's go into the game. This is going to be the first game of the evening, and it is going to be GB Hooligan playing as the USF from the north side of Crossing in the Woods. And I have to say how good it is to be back casting with AE.
To be loved by you, do. The Hooligan, 846 in the north, as the USF versus forJett in the south. As OKW. These guys are part of the Factional Showdown Episode 2. forJett here with the Kugelwagen is the OKW player.
Yep, and Cooper, nice opening on this map, of course, because it's going to allow him to cap a lot of the area quickly. The downside is, of course, versus USF, we saw that GB's gone double echelons on the opening, and echelons, if they get in cover, actually do really, really well against the Kubel. So if you can put that pressure on, actually denies the Kubel its efficiency at the start of the game. But it's very, very nice if forJett can keep both of these together, use the Kubel to just deal damage, then repair it with the Stern Pioneers back at a little bit of distance. Gets a very, very good early game off, constantly harassing the pushing forces of the USF. So
for everybody that's tuning in on YouTube, this is a best of one semi-final of the Factional Showdown Episode 2. It's featuring GB Hooligan as USF. He has vetoed 2 commanders. He chose not to play against Luftwaffe. He chose not to play against Special Operations. He's up against the OKW player, that's forJett, who chose to veto Armour and Mechanized Company. So that's the situation. It's on Crossing in the Woods, and it's for the rights to play in the best of 3 final in this very special mini tournament.
That's right, and they're very interesting to that point, actually. We just see Stern Pioneers here going to be repairing the Kubel. Might have an engagement with Volksgrenadiers as they come up against the echelons on the right-hand side, trying to take double fuel if they do this. But interestingly, on the point of commanders, we see that both GB and forJett have gone into their commander selections instantly. GB has gone with Infantry Company. We're going to be seeing the M19s. We've got good access to indirect fire off-map. forJett's going to be going for the Jaeger Light Infantry from Scavenge, having access to the Ostwind at ACP with also the 105mm howitzer barrage. So nice early option choices. They're very good on this map. Both of them are. M19s are amazing.
Amazing. Interestingly enough, obviously GB did not veto Scavenge, and also forJett did not veto the infantry company that Nagorno, possibly the #1 favourite to win this mini tournament, did veto infantry company. And GB Hooligan has gone straight in for those M119s, and also the Priest and etc. The infantry mines, I think, Daniel, are an excellent accompaniment to any USF loadout. Just the ability to have mines just breaches off the flanks, allows the bridges to not be flankable, and just allows you to win the game.
I do agree that, I mean, it's very difficult. forJett isn't going to be able to spot this. He would be taking a gamble, but assuming that at any point infantry company is revealed early, it puts a lot of pressure on to get that second Stern Pioneer spot, because you might want the Shreks for the really good mobile AT, and you also may want to have something with a Minesweeper, of course, and you're going to have to get the 2 squads for that. So it puts a lot of nice pressure on, but mines are usually the shock factor.
They really are. They really are. And I mean, obviously forJett has the infiltration grenades, which also are a shock factor. But in this game in general, this particular map actually lends itself to a certain style of play. And to be honest, Dan, it's a very well balanced map, but it does make you play to its kind of battlefield. It has a certain style of play, and if you can play on Crossing in the Woods, you can win on Crossing in the Woods, and you have to play to the map's specifications.
I've always said that I really like this map because of the symmetry, and because the way that the munitions and the fuel are kind of positioned on the map. Like, you do just kind of play around whether you want to be pushing fuel hard or defending fuel hard. It's kind of like the way that it goes. And this has been a really interesting start game. We had a really good push for forJett. He's ahead on resource income right now. However, he didn't jump for VPs early, so we're going to get a nice allied lead in on VPs here. Not sure how much that's going to help us.
I'm not sure either. This Kugelwagen's going for the cut-off note. I'm not sure how good that will be. Obviously, this is no longer full balance patch. That got killed by Relic. They crushed full balance patch's skull. They elbow dropped it from the top turnbuckle, and now it no longer exists. That's why we've got commander picks now in the live version of this patch. So we are now in live version. This is very much an auto match style matchup. forJett versus the Hooligan in a best-of-1 confrontation. It is sudden death. And these guys, Dan, aren't people that have ever had a major tournament fame. I mean, GB had the games against Danger, that's probably the best he's ever got. And forJett did had a really interesting first and second round in GCS also. But these guys want to prove themselves, they want to get to that final, and they're going to want to prove that today.
Make no mistake, forJett.
Folks are going down.
A little bit of caster's curse there, because I was about to say forJett played amazingly during one of the King of the Hill previously this year. Yeah, and he played an amazing game. I think it was against Paula, and we were just like, who is this guy? We've never seen him before, and he played phenomenally. And here he is right now. He is drawing GBs, baiting him into putting 2 rifles on the right-hand side. Sorry, rifle and echelon on the right-hand side, drawing him over there, but then decapping all the resources with the Stern Pioneer Kuba combination in the center. He's very, very unfortunately lost a squad of Volksgrenadiers, which is going to tip the balance a little bit in favor of his USF as they technically get that extra squad member on the field. But otherwise, you know, he's doing very well in resources. We see the Lukes is coming out already. Good timing, good timing.
This thing is an infantry munching machine. forJett, you cannot take him for granted. He is rank 4 in the world as OKW in auto match. This guy is a beast when it comes to playing ranked ladder, so do not take him for granted, and I'm sure GB the Hooligan will not be doing the same. I mean, GB the Hooligan, young Dutch guy, mostly a tournament organiser, has come to fame. Most recently is getting very good at playing the game, coming in Heroes 2. Dan, if either of us could be as good as GB Hooligan's played recently, we'd be really happy. I suppose it's due to his young, supple 16-year-old fingers. It sounds terrible, but it's true. This guy's got time to kill. He doesn't have a job. He can organise tournaments and play the game a crap load.
I mean, yeah, no, I've been in his position before. It was a very good time. Actually.
It was, wasn't it? Being young, having free time, playing computer games. GB Hooligan is that man right now, and he's really good at this game. So this game is anybody's to win.
I mean, to be honest, forJett here, I would think possibly has the advantage. I just think actually from what I've seen of him all over, he's been a very solid player. Even though we've seen him with the squad loss, I just think he's played very high-level micro engagements. But I don't know if GB has got the same in it. Here we go, forJett actually showing that may not be true, as he takes an 18-8 from the rifleman with veteran C1. AT gun has come on the field already and may be able to get a pop shot off. It's probably going to hit Kubel only. He loses the sight. And now we're going to have to see rifleman pushing up here to get sight for that AT gun. That should be a dead Kubel.
It should be. But GB Hooligan is showing so many signs of him right now. He's got a position in the back of the Lukes. He's pushing up with the AT gun. He's got vetted riflemen to spare. He's in position and he's pushing hard. The Lukes thinks it has a chance, but here comes the Dutchman, and he has a thing to say about it or not.
This is really risky from GB. I mean, he could have saved. Wow, he actually gets it with a long shot from the
AT
gun.
Yes!
Making use of the long distance AT range. He could have got an 18-8 off in the Kubel to potentially destroy it, but he may lose his rifleman in the process to a great counter. Who comes out on top of this, really?
Oh!
We lose the rifleman squad.
Oh! Was that our captain going down there, Dan? Was it both? Are they both?
Captain and rifleman
went
man. Down.
For a Lukes, though. I think it's anybody's game to play, I have to say. I mean, GB has the VP advantage. He has taken out a light tank. He has lost a captain and a rifleman. We're 8 minutes 30 into this stellar confrontation, and both players are showing excellent signs of competitive, combative behaviour. And we're in for a big game here, boys. Saddle up and straddle in and get ready for the showdown.
So, I mean, let's just go over this a little bit, because GB here is going for another rifleman squad. He's not quite ready on fuel for the tech yet. He may go for the mortar half-track, for I don't know why. But he's got options a little bit if he still wants to maybe wait for the Stuart. I don't know if he's going to want to spend his fuel like that. But here's the thing. We saw that forJett that was going to salvage the AT gun. I think you should take this versus USF. Yeah. It's the most powerful weapon you've got versus USF.
Really good versus USF.
So hopefully, I'm hoping he doesn't salvage it. I'm hoping that he takes it and saves himself getting Rakettans. I think that would be way more sensible than the 5 fuel that you're going to get salvaged.
I have to say, even though this is my mini tournament I've organised, I genuinely want USF to do well, because all the big boys signed up for OKW. VonIvan and Nagorno, they both signed up. No, sorry, VonIvan actually signed up USF. But Nagorno signed, who was the previous winner from next year's one, he signed up for OKW. And it seemed at first that OKW were going to steamroll So I'm kind of hoping USF really shows signs of life and breathes some life into itself and puts on a massive showing today. So to see them get pushed out, their AT gun stolen in the very first game against the Wunderkind, GB Hooligan 486, not very attractive viewing for my personal self.
It's a difficult one. I think he made the right move by pushing. I think because he got the looks, he got the good trade, but the retreats didn't manage well. You know, he could have retreated that rifleman squad way earlier. It wasn't doing anything. Didn't even try for the for the 18 aid. So it's a tough one. But both players have made a couple of micro mistakes in this game already. Both of them have lost significantly in the start. But forJett appears to be coming out ahead. He's banking 700 manpower at the moment and stacking the fuel against
This Stuart could be good. This MG's in a difficult position. Come on, Stuart. Stuart's now traversing its turret. It backs itself in there. But that now allows GB, the Hooligan 486, an anchor point. He can now push off the Stuart and get himself in position with no Rakettenwerfers on the field to claim back these points he has lost. And that's why this game is so balanced at this particular point in time and so ready for an excellent confrontation.
You're kidding, right? I mean, there's 3 VPs, double fuel, double munitions.
I'm sorry.
Stacking 700 manpower with a commander that brings on 8 CP off map, I think is. I don't think the game's going to last much longer, if I'm honest.
I think the GB Hooligan can get himself back in this. I fully trust in his behaviour. Even with the Puma on the field about to hit, the GB Hooligan, he's a dynamic maestro down. He's a prodigy. He'll think of things you never thought of. A Zeppelin airship from the southwest. And maybe a stolen artillery gun. We just don't know at this point. Keep watching.
I don't think he's got anything. He doesn't have the 18 yet. Puma's going to counter the Stuart fairly easily. There's not going to be any challenge here. Mines are on the ground. We do have minesweepers, but they're occupied. Nothing is able to push out of the base right now. And we do have the MG that is, at the moment, it's not in a particularly aggressive position, but there's no real chance for USF to break this. Not unless he invests in water, not unless he smoke.
There's no one's going to hit it. There's a rear echelon coming up the right flank. Maybe.
You're going to continue that one?
No, it's fine.
You got yourself into that one.
The Puma's fallen into a trap. The
Puma's
wasted its ammunition on that poor Stuart. And Hooligan's got it. He's going to build a Sherman, possibly. Who knows?
It's a very late retreat there. forJett trying to get this Volksgrenadier out. It's going to go into the negative cover, and some of the riflemen do take long shots, but does not connect. And this is a very, very difficult position for him. Very, very difficult. I mean, he managed to get the vehicle crew out, but it's not going to be particularly helpful whilst he's not got the fuel to make this work. Bear in mind, he picked his commander so early that he can't have the flexibility to reach out for something with better off-map. He's going to throw in the towel already.
Oh, ho, ho! I'll tell you what, Dan. One thing this tells me is, GB the Hooligan, you have unfortunately upset the GB clan. Your brother is going to be really upset. He's probably going to give you a dead arm or something. They live in the same house. They watch each other play. Trust me. And that now brings me to one thing only, my friends. We have Nagorno versus VonIvan in the other semi-final, ready to play for the rights to play forJett in that best-of-3 grand final. So let's get it on and let's progress through the ranks and see what we've got in store.
We certainly will. After that first one, just a quick one. The volume, I think I saw a comment about the volume levels. I set a level. A likes to practice cast his normal level and then actually cast at about twice the volume. So is it...
I'm quiet, to be honest.
Are people saying he's quiet? I'm going to...
yeah, this is the time if I'm quiet or loud.
I'm going to ask everybody, was he quiet or loud in that game? And then hopefully we'll get... hopefully we'll make some on-the-fly adjustments.
Your voices are a bit low. The game volume is a bit loud, I think.
Oh, okay. So it was fine at its voices in general. Okay, that's good. That's fine. It's much easier to fix. Why would you? Do you want to bring that up?
No, not your fault. I know.
I would just like to say as well. We have our Discord stuff. We finally got it. I don't even know.
Yeah, thanks Discord. Love it. Great sponsorship.
If anyone watches Rick and Morty, that's how I feel right now. Like, you're Rick.
Come on, Dan. Let's go!
I feel like you're Rick, constantly drunk, you know, frothing from the mouth, kind of. Yeah.
Come on, Dan, let's go!
Literally like that. Just loud noises and abruptness. Anyway, let's wait for this game to show up. Which it's not there at the moment. Hello, Mondeo Gaming. Hey, Soleil. I'm doing good, thank you. We're doing some random... Why have you just timed out? What?
He made a sarcastic comment. It was really sarcastic, Dan. 600 seconds sin bin.
Okay.
Boom.
No worries, VonIvan. A good game in that last game. We're gonna wait for VonIvan and Nagorno to get started. This one is going to be really good, actually, because VonIvan we saw was really on form when we casted him in GCS. Like, he played really, really well. I personally feel like he was unfairly treated in the semi-finals. Would you agree that was the case?
Sorry,
yes, VonIvan.
I got that free ticket to the England.
I mean, unfairly treated by the bulldozer Sherman, which
God, the RNG was horrendous. That was terrible.
He
was winning a game, and then Devan clicked a button, and it was like.
If anybody hasn't seen that, go over to YouTube, check it out, or even actually, it's on the Twitch VODs, and the highlights is VonIvan. Some of the most horrendous RNG I've seen in an RTS.
So bad.
Ever, and I've captured some really good RNG in RTSs. This was the worst. Maximus Capacitus, thank you very much for the sub, by the way. Lovely to have your support again for another month, and thank you very much for that. VonIvan versus Nagorno. Neither of them starting the game.
They will do. By the way, if you want these very small events on a monthly ongoing basis into the future or what have you, you have a very small chance to do so. Also, you do get the opportunity to vote on what the next Factional Showdown is, which is always good. It's patreon.com/AECOH. I've spent more money than I've earned on Patreon so far, which I don't mind. But if you can help me fund these small events, that would be fandabidozy, so go ahead. Big thanks to Ishtari, Tomikaze, and 11 other dudes, for which I don't have my phone on me at the moment to look through, but you're all great guys, and you've all helped make these small events happen, so thank you.
That is a very fair point. Thank you guys for your help. Still no game. Are we on top of the moderation here? What are they doing?
Yeah, I've said, let's go, boys. Seems to be about right.
I feel like, you know, when you're moderating anything, you need to be taken seriously at all times.
Take me seriously. I've written that in the Steam group. Is that not enough? I'm going to beer you. How about that, Dan?
Christ. Okay, he's gone. Whilst we have some time alone, first of all, let me apologise. A managed to upgrade to a first-class ticket on the train and was given free alcohol. No, I haven't hidden them.
Where are they?
They're in there. You're just missing them. Anyway. After a great first game, VonIvan and GB Hooligan. GB Hooligan off to a good start. Then it went a little bit better. I don't need one. I picked one, remember? Oh my god. Okay. Oh, dear. Yeah. Hey, Cruzy, by the way.
Oh, Cruzy, the sarcastic bugger from... Is he from Germany?
Cruzy? No, I don't think Cruzy's from Germany. He's in chat. Let us know, Cruzy. Where are you from?
Okay, VonIvan says starting in chat, by the way.
It's about time. It is about time. So, out of interest, because I don't actually know this, I don't know the reason why I haven't. You know, quite frankly, I didn't give a rat's anus about the full balance preview.
It's died.
What actually happened with it?
Died.
When you say it's dead, I mean, I didn't want it in the game. I didn't like it. But what actually happened?
It died.
What, as in, like, it keeled over and...
Well, they released a post saying it was dead, and then it died.
Okay.
Can you open a beer, please?
There is an opener, like, on the end there. Or over there.
Dead. But there's the other patch they're working on, and if we don't get the game like balance fixed, we'll just.
That is a good idea. I was actually thinking we should do that, is get our own patch going for events. You know, just like we were going to do,
change
just
as little as possible.
tweak the things that we wanted.
Tweak is the option.
Cryptic, you know it, buddy. We had to get these. Like the room is just too huge without a breaker in the middle. It was terrible. They do a good job actually. I really like them. Great design. You all right? There's one in the drawer or in the washing dishwasher.
Oh, great.
Or there was one around. There we go.
It's in the kitchen, like 200 meters away. The down gallery's in a mansion, by the way, but it doesn't afford to put this.
Let's. All right, here we go. We're gonna go into another one. So this is a best of 3, right? You're gonna have to explain.
Oh yeah, I'll explain it. It's
the
really
old
easy
format
to
here to me.
Don't worry about it.
All right, everybody, welcome to the first of our second series of the evening. We're going to have VonIvan, and as it is the USF versus OKW showdown, it should be no surprise to you that he is playing USF starting from the north straight into the mechanized regiment. VonIvan, one of our favorites, and I think the top NA player in the game.
Undisputedly so, he's up against one of the greatest Company of Heroes franchise players ever to play the game. It's Ruka ACL Nagorno. This guy's playing as OKW. He has chosen to play as OKW for this mini tournament, Factional Showdown. These guys are locked in as these factions. It is USF versus OKW. VonIvan against his true nemesis Nagorno in this best of 1 semi-final for the right to play forJett in the best of 3 final to follow. These guys are here because their ranks dictated them to be. It is a direct repeat of episode 1's final, so that's why you, sir, or you, madame, should be hyped as FUCK right now and should be getting everybody you've got to get into watching this cast. Get into this stream. That's twitch.tv/Stormless. And the reason I say this is people feel down on KO2 right now. The FPP may have died. The FPP may have died. But that does not mean the KO series has died, and trust me on that one. Get people into the stream, get them watching competitive Company of Heroes action, because VonIvan versus Nagorno is going to be lit.
Just thought I'd do that as I forgot.
No worries.
Actually, do you know, very interesting. Nagorno may do very well here. Do you know what the reason is? There's no ice on the map.
Oh, there's a February King of the Hills throwback view where Nagorno lost a helping hand in dramatic fashion when his Command Panther died to the ice. But in this particular game, there are Commander vetoes, and the two guys have League of Legends style banned 2 commanders. Is the Kubel Dragon's about to go down, maybe? Not quite.
Quite risky from the WC51 there. Tries to push the Kubel back into the base. Lovely starting unit to use versus OKW. Reason being that OKW does need a tech structure out before it gets access to Fausts that it needs to snare the vehicles. So very, very good unit to bring out at the start. The whole idea behind the WC51, it can repair by getting the vehicle crew out, as you're seeing now. A bit later on, you can take that vehicle back off of the field and get your resources back to jumpstart your next area of tech, whilst efficiently dealing with the Kubel. So it's a great commander pick. I really like this from VonIvan, and a really good start here. That being said, though, Nagorno, 2 DPs, comfortably taken fuel, about to take his munitions, and still no sign of teching from Nagorno against this WC51.
As people that want to flashback to last week, it was a very different showdown. It was Wehrmacht versus Brits. And these two guys, VonIvan ended up in a best of 3 final against Nagorno. VonIvan playing as Brits, Nagorno playing as Wehrmacht on the crossroads, and these guys had an amazing 40-minute matchup. In this game, though, it is episode 2, and as we have introduced Commander vetoes, let me describe them to you. VonIvan has chosen not to play against Scavenge or Special Operations. Nagorno has chosen not to play against Armour or Infantry Company. What do you see for Nagorno to play, Dan? What's he got left in his arsenal?
Well, I think this is interesting because Von has made a very good decision here, I think, by his commander pick. But what he's done is by revealing the hand so early, it gives Nagorno a hell of a lot to play with. I think Nagorno may wait to see VonIvan's teching choice between Lieutenant Major, and I think that can dictate for him whether he's going to go for the Panzer Fusiliers or whether he'll go in...
Sure, but what's Nagorno got to play with? Of the three that he's chosen, other than Scavenge and Spec Ops, what's he got left?
I personally really like the idea of Luftwaffe here, just for the building pops. I think building pops for the Luftwaffe are going to be amazing. There's lots of negative cover that they can get. You get the FT-42s firing through.
Yes.
No. You got the outsides. Okay. You got here for points. Actually,
4 in general then.
But it's been used very well before, actually. So I think it's an interesting choice you could go for. Otherwise, I mean, it just has to be the meta. It's got to be breakthrough with the Panzer Fusiliers.
Yes, a really good manpower economy there. Let's talk about the armies we've got in front of us. 4 minutes in, we are now really into the early game. We've got 3 Fox Grenadiers, a Sem-finals. We've got 3 Riflemen, and of course the WS-51 on the field against the Kubelwagen. So it's very much a lot of symmetry, a lot of balance on the field right now, and both armies have everything to play for.
I think the interesting one here is Von is a very creative player, we know that. Nagano is a very careful and safe player. One of the good things about the mechanized doctrine, it catches you off guard at a number of stages. It can catch the Kupol off with the WC-51. We now have access to the withdraw and refit, which we may see used to boost off. But the second one we get is obviously the M3 half-track. Now, you get the assault engineers with this. It means you can place demos. Now, that can really, really catch off OKW players if they haven't seen the WC-51, but Nagano has. Is a very, very cool dynamic going on here with the commanders, and I really like that Nagano isn't just going to rush this. I think he's going to wait and see a little bit more. He's fine to handle it as he is at the moment, but it's almost like WC-51 bringing it out. You almost can't use the rest of the doctrine as surprise.
No, you can't. It's a big tell. In this game, though, we've got to think of the dynamic of Nagano having a big psychological advantage over VonIvan in terms of recent victories. He, of course, won the first episode of Factional Showdown, and VonIvan has been on somewhat of a depression in recent streamed auto-match games. Nagano, not playing so much public Company of Heroes 2 competitive, is somewhat of an unknown quantity. Also, he hasn't been able to be part of Grand Championship Series from March to July. So this Russian heavyweight has been the kind of fierce competitor in the background, lurking, ready to strike. And VonIvan possibly sees him as an unknown quantity and as somebody to be feared.
Light tank ready to deploy.
I think, yeah, I don't know how much practice Nagano really does for this, but he's always just been a very good player in general. I mean, I haven't, sometimes you just catch him off the cuff, like, hey Nagano, let's come another game, and he's really good and puts on a great show. And we are seeing that here. I mean, Von plays this game very regularly, he streams it, and Nagano is just a solid player. His build has been solid. You see him playing a little bit of mess right now. Look how on top of the micro he is, keeping the distance with the Lukes at all points, whilst trying to do a strategic decap to Volks Grenadiers in the north there, still keeping on top of it. So he's a great player, and both of these guys have their own skills.
They do. They have their own characters, their own unique properties, and it's so cool to see them play against each other. VonIvan is very much a player that likes to play on the back foot, build a medium armour kind of composition, and then go in for the big push. Nagano, however, is different to VonIvan. Nagano likes to smother his opponent with overwhelming technical ability that reigns supreme in the long run, and that always makes for a dynamic and highly entertaining matchup.
So let's have a look at how the game has been going so far. We do have Nagano quite heavily in the lead on kills at the moment, which means, of course, translates into a manpower lead for Nagano here. And you know, he's had double fuel a couple of times on this map already. Hasn't taken double munitions, but he's doing very. I can't read chat at this point. Give me a second, dude.
No, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you know, he's getting to a point where, like, you know, the resource advantage is good. He's got the manpower lead, and this is great against USF because they thrive on having those extra squads. You know, one thing we see like later on in the game, VonIvan is normally that player that starts to lose the splits. He manages very well without it. We normally always see that from him. Stuart versus Luke's here. I don't think he's gonna do it. To be honest, I think maybe the AT gun would have been a better choice here at the start.
It all depends how he plays. If you can get that captain squad into position, if you can get those rifle nades off from those vetted riflemen, anything can happen in Big Heroes. I mean, Nagorno, rather, is pushing right now. He's got that MG34 in the shed, the DevM shed, and he's in position to make this work. However, VonIvan, of course, has the build. He has what he needs to do to make this happen. Boom. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. And every player has what they need to do to make this happen, as I was saying. But Nagorno, Dan, has one thing in his favour, and that's only 489 victory points.
Yeah, it's a tough one to give to the Axis player. Obviously, VPs do translate into time if it's an even game, and you do not want to be giving Axis players time to get up to, especially OKW, you do not want to be giving them time to get up to 5 stars of veterancy, which is one of the the faction traits really. And it's difficult. Like I love this mechanized red. Like he's gone heavy into this. If you get this out early, if you start getting the veterancy, these can become really powerful. Luke's is already on vet 1. Got the Kubel, which can go with the the detection ability, which is going to allow him to see through the fog of war. Then we've got the Puma. I think it's going to be really difficult for VonIvan to move without Nagorno pinning him down. He's got everything he needs.
In USF.
Because VonIvan is a big proponent of the idea that even when United States forces are underpowered, some might suggest they could be against OKW in their prime in the current meta, VonIvan is the kind of guy that can pull something off from the back foot. He's the kind of guy that, when back against the wall, can come out with a killer undercut that can make a win against the odds happen. So stay fully engaged, because I believe in VonIvan and I believe in the United States forces.
The enemy has cut our supply chain.
It's very difficult. I mean, I can believe USF are very versatile, but I think you do need to have the fuel backed up to actually get into some serious teching. The Stuart is kind of countered immediately. The Luke's micro is so good here. I don't even think that's going to go down. Let's just harass some infantry with nothing to contest it. And we haven't seen Von reach for the AT gun yet. I think that's a really important one, especially Luke's and Puma.
Oh,
the AT gun needs to be on the field. Like, that
really
is
does.
the primary counter. We don't see it yet, so...
You can see that on the bottom left of your screens right now. The tactical map is basically a sea of red. The fact that we have this compound foundation of the Puma and the Lukes means that Nagorno is in the commanding seat. He is calling the shots on the battlefield, and VonIvan is playing second fiddle right now.
Von's got a lot of work to do here. I mean, it's not even just that he's trying to connect the fuel. Like, he has to defend the line that connects the fuel, and it's being constantly harassed. Now you've got the MG42 on the field, sorry, MG34 on the field. He's going to have to defend the dots that are connecting this fuel up. He hasn't even got it yet, and this is going to be very difficult for him. The resources are down. Nagorno is very stable in what he's taking in at the moment. He's ahead in resources already. He's going to be denying whilst getting in that stable income. Hoping to see him go tier 4 now that we see him locking the breakthrough doctrine. It's probably going to be tier 4 Panther, I would have thought.
Possibly. Nagorno has options, and VonIvan is running out of said options. He does have 250 victory points, so he's half down right now. He's not out of the game, most importantly. He's in a position where he can really start to think about what he needs in terms of his build order to stay in the game. This is decision make or break time for VonIvan, the USF Great White Hope, against the Russian heavyweight Rukasiel Nagorno. He needs to make a decision. He needs to make it count. He needs to make it now.
Here's a very nice move from Von. We see that Von is teched up to weapons upgrades, which allows him to pick up bars on his rifleman squads. That's going to help him in the infantry-to-infantry engagements as he pushes Volksgrenadiers off the right-hand side. But as we saw there, the MG34, very, very good covering position. Volksgrenadiers are giving sight. You do have the Kubel always for detection, which it's on right now, and we'll just show you exactly what that is showing through the fog of war.
Wunderbar.
It's looking very, very good for Nagano as a setup. And now I feel like the bars don't have that effect.
No.
Because they're not challenging the Lukes. They're not getting past because they're just spotted by the Kubel. Well, this is the thing. Still no AT gun. I don't know where this is going to come in, but it's so necessary right now.
God, really is. He needs that AT gun to happen. He's going to be waiting. He's locked himself into a commander that has no heavy call-in tank. He's not heavy cap. And obviously for everybody tuning in, I realise the stream is growing in potential. This is Factional Showdown Episode 2. The players have 2 commander choices each. We won't be seeing Armour Company. We won't be seeing Special Operations. These players are truly locked within their factions, within Factional Showdown. So we need to see the players now thinking to themselves, what within our factional tree will allow me to compete? And for me, for VonIvan right now, that's the M1 AT gun.
Yeah, I feel like we should maybe explain, in case anybody doesn't know, why the AT gun for the USF is such a good idea to go against the mechanized regiment. It is, I think, it's the longest range of any AT gun in the game. It is the fastest rate of fire. It doesn't have as much penetration, but of course it does have abilities that will help to unlock that. It's very, very good against light vehicles. It's the perfect counter from multiple outputs from mechanized regiment OKW. So hopefully we do get to see this out soon. Can't keep talking about it as a decision. We do have to try to get on with what Von's potential plan is right now. He has got single bazooka up on the captain, and I guess maybe he'll be planning for some AT grenades to go in at some point. But finally connecting the fuel, he can start his very, very slow tech. Oh, there we go. He actually got some bazookas on the echelons, which are nicely covered.
Nice, very good. Because obviously the frying pan shows up first. The minesweeper. VonIvan is a player that has never really relied on victory points to get the win, and that sounds perverse in a victory point mode gameplay. VonIvan is the kind of guy that relies on medium armor and above, pushing in a big, all-encompassing flank to get that all-important W. But in this position, he's not had the fuel dynamics to get said arsenal, to get said armada. And he's now relying on an infantry composition aligned with bazookas. That's right, bazookas that aren't even that good, even against light to medium armor. They lack the accuracy. There in point time. Hit a bush. They lack the accuracy. VonIvan does not have a stable base, and he needs to think fast and act faster.
It's very difficult, and we have got suppression, I believe, from the MG34, which is raining down on the rifleman, trying to cap the munitions. VonIvan's just trying to push it in for the AT grenade, but even if he gets that off, he has nothing to back it up with at the moment. He's going for a mortar! What? Why? Why is he going for a mortar? I don't understand. I think what he's trying to do is smoke the MG and run in under cover of the mortar to try and get these bazookas working, because I think he's gone into that. He's gone into the into this kind of teching decision. He's just going to have to try and make it work. But at the moment, we're just seeing him run endless infantry squads into quite capable defenses. And how long are we going to see this for before we've already got tier 4 up? We're very close to Panzer 4 or something like that. It's Vet 4 Lukes now. That's kind of idea about how your infantry strategy is going.
Dum 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 dum. Terminator Lukes.
Yeah, it's 17 minutes in the game. Vet 4. I mean, it's nearly on Vet 5.
Oh, what a beast! What an awesome beast! And we now see VonIvan lowering himself to 87 victory points. And it's not looking great. It's not looking great. Nagorno is looking dominant. He's looking all-encompassing. He's looking like he's about to possibly open himself up to be thrown right bang off his pedestal by forJett. forJett, who is, by the way, looking to try and claim a scalp today.
forJett played very well. Not to say in any sense that VonIvan is not a good player. He's a fantastic player. This has not been a particularly good showcase game for him. I think, although we always see this with like game ones in a series. Is like it's just a game where people like to try something different. They want to try and just do something crazy to just get that first win easily. It's backfired if that's the case. It's going to be giving Nagorno the game one lead, and then I think after that we see VonIvan come out of his shell. We see him play something with a little more strategic depth than the British World War I Hague strategy.
He's all about that though. VonIvan's very much like,
I know you want to live, Captain Force. I know you have a family. But just go out there and die.
I'm getting that feeling from him right now. There has been such little care for
compassion,
for models.
humanity from VonIvan. VonIvan is very much an inhumane destroyer. He's very much Stalin-esque in his approach to his own factions. In a game all about preservation, all about preserving the veterancy, the skill, there you go, the abilities of your own men. VonIvan's very much all about trying to discard the men and build tanks. And get those tanks to go for an all-encompassing flank and win the game for you.
Yeah, it's a shame he hasn't been allowed to get up to that point yet. But let's just talk about the things that Nagorno has done right this game, because I think it's important to point that out. I think, first off, he handled Mechanized Regiment very well. 2 Kubels. The WC-51 is supposed to be a very good harassment and stop the Kubel from working. He handled that very well. Second, his decision for Panzerfusiliers, this is good for a number of reasons. 6-man squads, way more durable. They get the G43s up. They have access to AT snares, so he's been relying on the Puma for his AT. We haven't seen the Raketten. So it's been a pretty good build for him. He's managed it very, very well. That coupled with the MG34, VonIvan has been very, very restricted in this game. Could have been a little bit different, I think, if he'd implemented more to AT, a little bit more of a support build, then he may have been able to just keep pushing the territory. He just hasn't done that.
He has not, and in general, I think Nagorno has proven once and more for all, in tournament setting, in competitive conditions, he is the best OKW player. I will bring you back, Daniel, for once and for all, for OKW Nagorno versus Loveness Soviets back in 2015, October. The first time we ever cast together.
Wow, is it?
It was indeed. I remember it fondly because I kind of knew Nagorno from Co-1 days. I kind of knew what he was capable of, and it seemed like Co-2 really wasn't ready for him. And he hit the scene, and he beat Loveness in a best of 3 in the very first tournament we ever cast together. And here he is winning again. And Nagorno has been dominant in the past few years. He's been the best Russian player, possibly best EU player. I hasn't say. We never really saw Loveness versus Nagorno. I'd love to see it in a really competitive setting. GCS didn't allow it because of Russian visas, etc.
Yeah.
But Nagorno's a beast, man. He's an absolute beast. He's done his service to the Russian army. Jove's not finished it yet. And
I think it's Nagorno has. There's been a number of situations we've seen Nagorno. I mean, we've had our fair share of seeing Nagorno in hilarious situations.
yes,
he makes the occasional mistake, and when he does, we love to jump on that because
yes.
it's so out of character for him. The classic one, if you guys don't know, was Samosky Winter driving his command panther across the ice. We're just going like, that's risky. That's really risky. Suddenly, Hans comes around with a Cromwell.
Not comes around. Sorry, from 2 kilometers away, accidentally hits a random shell.
Yeah, okay.
And then the random shell accidentally escalates past the intended target and hits the command panther, and then it sinks into the ice.
That was impressive. I remember that.
I think the reason we have a true affinity for Nagorno, Dan, do you have an affinity for Nagorno? You do you?
I really like Nagorno.
Good man. I do. It's one of my favorite players. The reason we do is through ESL. I still think to this day our biggest overall project we've worked on. We got to see Nagorno come from not winning anything in month 1 to not winning anything month 2 to suddenly being like, in month 3, he kind of surpassed Jove And that was really exciting to see him and maybe Talisman. These kind of guys we really banked on and we were loving them. And from that moment onwards, Nagano's just come from strength to strength. And he won the Co-1 tournament straight after ESL. Then he won a Co-2 tournament. He's been an absolute beast since then. If you want to know what we're watching right now, we have just seen forJett beat Hooligan in 1.5 minutes. Unlucky Hooligan. He hates when I say